trying to sneak a win, but you want every opportunity that you can. Oh! Good fighters, great fights. That's the mantra here at ProBox TV.
Tonight from our ProBox TV World Headquarters in Tampa, Florida, it's another edition of our Wednesday night fights. We don't promote boxers, we promote boxing, and we welcome you once again to ProBox TV, your boxing channel. Great look at downtown Tampa, Florida, as we make our way inside to our ProBox TV Events Center, where tonight our main event of the evening is scheduled for 10 rounds in the super welterweight division, as the former WBA welterweight world champion Louis Collazo, a man who has fought some of boxing's all-time best. Names like Ricky Hatton, Amir Khan, Sugar Shane Mosley, and Andre Berto, to just name a few. His opponent is 17-2-1, Ángel Ruiz, born, raised, and fighting out of Tijuana, Mexico. He has spent time in the same gym as the great Julio Cesar Chavez, has earned 12 of his 17 wins by knockout. We are inside our ProBox TV World Headquarters, and man, when you have a night of live fights and a special night here on ProBox TV, which is our Wednesday night fights, let's get things started. Everybody, I'm Mike Goldberg, joined by my powerful partners, the former two-time world champion, the Magic Man, Paulie Malignaggi, former world champion, Chris Algieri. Always great to be with my partners, and both you guys know Louis Collazo very, very well. Chris, I believe you told me earlier he's punched you once or twice.
Yeah, he's punched me in my face and my liver quite a few times. We punch each other quite a bit. But it's pretty amazing to go and watch him on other networks growing up, and very early in my boxing career, to being able to spar with him and trade punches multiple times, and then now to actually come full circle and call one of his fights. And this is an epic night for me.
You go back decades with Louis.
Yeah, I know Louis since we're teenagers, man. I mean, we're only about 5 months apart in age, so we came up together in the amateurs, same teams. He was actually fighting at welterweight all the time. I started fighting at featherweight, and then through the years, I ate myself over to welterweight. we ended up winning the same world title, the WBA welterweight title. So it's we've also sparred a little bit through our amateur and pro careers. Very crafty southpaw.
What can we expect from Louis tonight, 3 days shy of his 42nd birthday?
Well, let's be honest. He's an ex-world champion. He's probably had better days in his prime. You're not in your prime when you're about 42 years old, like he's going to be this week. But a savvy veteran southpaw like Collazo can still pose a lot of problems. He's never really been blown out in his career. He's had some tough fights, but he's still always been competitive. Rather, even later in his career, in some of his losses, he's still been rather competitive. He's still been something to deal with. Now, is he going to be that high-intensity guy that was crafty earlier in his career? Probably not. But you know what? He's got a young guy in front of him who's aggressive, and if he's savvy and has that, can still use those veteran skills just enough. And you never know when Father Time shows up. I'm not going to lie to you, but if he still has those savvy veteran skills that we know he has, even at this age, he can pose a lot of problems and possibly beat you. I remember there was a prospect a few years back. Obviously, Lou was younger, but there was a guy named Alan Sanchez who's fought here on ProBox, and Lou dazzled him.
Yeah, dazzled him indeed. He would like to do a little dazzling here tonight against young, hungry Ángel Ruiz. And in the fighter meetings yesterday, Chris, I love what he said. He said, I have speed, I have power, I also have a lot of respect for Louis Collazo.
Well, he better, because like everything that Paulie said, I mean, Louis is a hell of a fighter and has been for many years and decades at this point. But with Ángel Ruiz, I mean, I've called his fights before. He's a very impressive physical guy. He's very strong. He's very tough. He's coming from Culiacan, Mexico. He's going to be tough, and he's going to have to really dig deep and use that youth and vitality if he's going to overcome Louis Collazo. This is no easy fight for Louis Collazo, even though he has so much more experience. He's going to have to go back to the well one more time and see if he can beat out Father Time, if he's going to best Ángel Ruiz.
And Ángel Ruiz, if he does defeat the former world champion, even at 41 years old, this will be the marquee win of his young professional career. Co-main event is a man who has fought here on ProBox TV before, the return of now 5-0 Russian Vadim Musayev. Vadim fought in the United States for the first time right here back in September of last year. He scored a first round finish. His opponent is 7-0 Martin Alvarez, who tonight fights for the first time here in the U.S. In fact, for the very first time outside of his home country of Mexico. That is our co-main event of the evening. We only saw less than 3 minutes of Vadim Musayev last year, Paulie, but what did you like?
He's intense. He comes from that Russian amateur system, which turns out, top fighters like a conveyor belt. Speaking of crafty southpaws, he's the Eastern European version of a crafty southpaw, but he's younger and he's still prime. Granted, after a long amateur career, he's still prime nonetheless. He's got a lot of experience and a lot to give in the pro game. We'll see how they move him, but I'm curious to see how he looks tonight after a really stellar showing the first time we saw him on ProBox.
In an interesting journey, because great amateur career, then he went professional, then he worked his way back to the amateurs for half a minute.
Yeah, I mean, now like they've changed rules. Guys go back and forth all the time.
Change it every year.
I
can't keep up.
Yeah, no, neither can I. But I mean, it's good to see him back in the pro ring, especially here in ProBox, because he is a very talented amateur, and I think he has the goods to be a really good pro.
That's why the Miracle on Ice and the one in 1980 will always be very special, because it was just a bunch of college kids who defeated the greatest team in the world. That was kind of a Russian tie-in right there. Just so you know.
I got you. I saw Miracle.
I saw back in 1980 as well, when it truly happened. Our first fight of the night is a 10-rounder in the super bantamweight division. Prince Johnny, 23-0, 19 wins by knockout, fighting out of Ghana. He has been working with his new coach, that man right there, Aaron Ford Sr., since June, really working on his footwork and utilizing his reach in the proper way. He faces another unbeaten fighter in 21-year-old Jose Salas. 9 of his 11 wins have come by knockout. He is trained by Mario Mendoza, and of course that brings us to Jackie Nava. I mean, there's good ties for both men, but this guy, even at 38 years old, is still very dangerous, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's got that big amateur background. Yes, he's 38, but I mean, he is in incredible shape. He's very spry from when we were talking to him in the fighter meeting. I've watched some of his tapes. Even though this is only his second fight outside of Ghana, he definitely has some skills, and I'm curious to see him live.
All right, keys to victory for 23-0, Prince Johnny. We do know that he's going to look to utilize that piston-like jab that he is well known for. And yes, there's our keys.
So Prince Johnny, I mean, like you said, he's very tall, he's long, so utilizing that pull and counter. He likes to pull back on guys, going back with uppercuts with both hands. It's a very nice tactic that he uses. But even though he's tall and he's long, he likes to fight from the outside. When his opponent does get outside, he uppercuts quite well off of both hands, and that'll be a good weapon against the shorter opponent coming forward. And lastly, he has that kind of Accra Ghana style where he earmuffs and kind of walks his guy down. Gets pretty heavy-footed at times. He's got to avoid that if he's going to really step up at the world-class level.
And it was interesting in the fighter interviews, he talked about how they fight over in his side of the world, and he will put it on display tonight. His opponent is 17 years, 6 days younger, but very dangerous, nicknamed the Little Grasshopper. Jose Salas putting his unbeaten record on the line against 23-0 Prince Johnny. Keys to victory for the youngster at 21 years old.
Yeah, for Salas, use that straight left hand. You got an opponent with a high guard. You know, that Chris mentioned those Africans. A lot of times they like to fight behind that high guard. Not a lot of head movement, but they stay behind tight. You can split that with a straight, sharp left hand. Keep the opponent turning. Again, they like to guard more with the high defense. They're a little bit slow on their feet with those fighters from Africa. So keep him turning, keep him picking up that foot. He doesn't get their set. And of course, attack the body. Once again, based off of that high guard African style, attack the body because they like to keep that guard high up, these elbows high up, and you can get underneath those with body shots.
Our tail of the tape for this 10-round super bantamweight battle. The 38-year-old from Ghana against the 21-year-old from Mexico. 6-inch reach advantage for Prince Johnny. Guys, I guess I should have waited for the tail of the tape on the age. So once again, I will tell you, they are 17 years and 6 days apart. But we know one thing, that Prince Johnny said that will not be a factor. Official introductions from Mark Lichtenfeld.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout is scheduled for 10 rounds in the junior featherweight division, featuring 2 undefeated boxers. Esta pelea está pautada a 10 asaltos en peso pluma junior con 2 boxeadores invictos. Los jueces, your judges, Braden Jackson, Rodolfo Aguilar, and Shami Shipman. Your referee in charge, El Arbitro, Chris Young. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black with gray. En la esquina azul con pantalones negro y gris, pesando 121 y 3/4 libras, weighing in at 121 3/4 pounds, with a record of 11 wins, no losses, 9 wins by knockout, con récord 11 victorias, 0 derrotas, con 9 por la vía del knockout, de Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico, Jose Chapulín Salas. And fighting out of the red corner, wearing the red with white, en la esquina rojo con pantalones rojo y blanco, pesando 121 y 3/4 libras, weighing in at 121 3/4 pounds, with a record of 23 wins, no losses, 19 wins by knockout, con récord 23 victorias, 0 derrotas, con 19 por la vía del knockouts. From Accra, Ghana, the 3-time national champion from Ghana and former Olympian, el 3 veces campeón nacional de Ghana y ex-olímpico, Prince Octopus Johnny.
Okay, Jim, you already see instructions in the dressing room. Bring my commands all the time, protect yourselves all the time, touch them up.
Set for this 10-round super bantamweight matchup, Prince Johnny, the 2008 Olympian, competed in Beijing, China, against Jose Salas, just 21 years old. Here we go. It's time to fight. Johnny in the red trunks with the white trim, black and gray for the southpaw, Jose Salas.
Southpaw convention.
Pretty rare to see a 5'9", 72-inch reach on a super bantamweight, but here we have one right in front of us. A snappy left hand there from Salas.
Yeah, he has a piston jab. You know, again, those Africans like to put the weight on that, behind that high guard, behind that hard jab. I remember Ike Quartet used to do that.
Yeah, Ike had a bazooka, had a killer jab.
Both men known for the utilization of that quick and powerful jab. We'll keep an eye on both men, and so far it's Salas,
yeah,
Paulie, that's been utilizing it more.
Yeah, and he was able to come over the top of Prince's jab with his own jab, right jab, and then come back with a little sharp combination. Salas looking to try to establish that real estate, trying to back Prince up.
And I think right away you're seeing the age difference between the two. You see how calm and relaxed Johnny is, and then Salas very herky-jerky in and out, explosive fast. Nice straight left hand to the body there from Salas.
Salas had 6 weeks notice for this fight, so a very solid and thorough training camp with his longtime head coach, Mario Mendoza. He has been with the same team since age 8.
Nice straight right hand there from Johnny as Salas pulled out straight.
You see Johnny trying to process everything he's seeing. Salas has that youth energy. It's hard to match the youth energy sometimes of these young guys, and Salas has that youth energy. We see Johnny trying to process and see what he can make him pay for his overexcitement of Salas. But right now, Salas keeping his range very well, shooting some sharp left hands to the stomach from that southpaw stance. A good one from Johnny back with the right hand.
Salas riding an 8-fight knockout streak. In fact, he has finished 9 of his last 10 opponents. Many of them early third round. Had a first round stoppage back in November of 21.
Salas with the quick feet in and out. Gets in and gets out before Johnny can really come back with anything to answer.
Yeah, excellent footwork so far from Salas.
First time fighting out of his home country of Mexico for Salas, and Prince Johnny has literally fought all around the world.
You know, Goldie, you mentioned all the early knockouts from Salas. I'm not surprised at all from what I'm seeing. He is very snappy, very quick, very sharp early on.
And he keeps you respecting him even when he's not punching with that little bit of jerky movement that he has. He keeps you, you know, thinking about what he might be firing back, and he's able to punch off that jerky movement as well, which is what I like. A lot of times guys have that little movement, but they're not able to punch off it. They stop before they punch, and it ends up becoming a pattern. Salas has a nice little fluid style where he has that herky-jerky movement, and he fights off of it.
But you got to dictate to him with that jab. See, he's jumping in. That jab is gonna be the key. Well, I ain't got that bucket. Don't put too much. Look behind the jab. I want you to walk with them shots though. You're getting off too much. You gotta make them respect you. Got me? Behind that jab, stay bent. Drop everything on quick.
Respira. Ahorita lo hiciste bien, pero cuando te salgas, tócalo aunque sea. Sácalo de onda, pum, para que no te siga, ¿ok? Igual, seguimos trabajando abajo y si ves que está bloqueando mucho, pum, se lo cambiamos arriba. Ok, respira. Ok, lo estás haciendo bien, güey, no te le quedes enfrente, ok?
Set for the start of round number 2. This fight is scheduled for 10 rounds.
And Salas' corner telling me he started out well, just don't stand in front of him after you're done punching.
He didn't do that much. He actually moved quite well. He kept his man turning. He stayed, as we call it, he stayed invisible by staying outside that lead foot, because Salas is a southpaw.
Yeah, with this kind of rhythm, that's all he really has to worry about. As long as he's making sure he's not standing in front after punching. I mean, Salas is too slow, like you said in the keys, Chris. You know, keep him turning it, and if Prince Johnny is forced to keep turning, he's not able to get off.
Yeah, as long as Salas stays outside that lead foot and doesn't pull back straight, I think he's in a good position with this footwork that he's got.
With my powerful partners, Chris Algieri, Paulie Malignaggi, Mike Goldberg, here on ProBox TV's Wednesday Night Fights. We are live from our world headquarters just outside of downtown Tampa, Florida. Super bantamweight battle, 11-0. Jose Salas in the black and gray trunks, 23-0. Prince Johnny from Ghana in the red and white trunks. Good connection there.
Johnny finally got some body shot in there. Nice little left hook underneath the elbow.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys could hear that at home. It sounded like a heavy shot. He's got power.
That's counter right hook by Salas though. Johnny trying to get a little closer now this round, trying to step it up a little bit. Nice little counter there by Salas and a nice return counter by Johnny. Exchanges are getting fun here. Ooh. That's an example right there, Chris. You know, once you turn Johnny, you see the good combination by Salas. He turned Johnny and was able to throw another combination. But when he doesn't turn him, like right there, Johnny's able to get off.
Yeah, when we mentioned the earmuff defense, that high guard that a lot of the African fighters fight with. If you keep them turning, they actually go, they blind themselves with their own glove, and we saw that right there.
And likewise, if you don't keep them turning, their hands are in position to punch, but they're already high up, and so they can punch right from that guard.
And Chris, in the fighter meetings yesterday, Johnny talked a lot about the African fighters and the style in which he learned growing up.
Yeah, Zuma Nelson, he said, was a friend. He said he was like my father in boxing, which is a pretty cool thing to say. Zuma Nelson, absolute, phenomenal Hall of Famer. Oh, beautiful uppercut there from Salas. Really sneaky shot.
Rangy fighter, excellent power. Also has been compared to Ike Quarty, who fought from 1988 to 2006, held the WBA welterweight title for 4 years.
Yeah, Cortez with that bazooka jab.
Yes, yep.
Had a war with Oscar De La Hoya, one of my favorite fights, actually. Incredible.
Good combination there by Salas.
And Cortez's older brother Isaac won a silver medal back at the 1960 Olympic Games, which, by the way, Paulie, the United States also won the gold medal.
Oh, yeah. Some guy named Cassius?
Yeah.
Oh, you know who else won? Mino Beneruti won the gold medal.
There you go. Heated exchanges here in round 2.
Yeah, Prince Johnny Johnny got a little closer this round. I don't know if he won the round, but he got a little closer, started to step to Salas. So it forced Salas to throw more, and it also allowed Johnny to also get off more shots in return.
I think this fight's going to get very interesting as the rounds go on. If Salas can't keep this up, we're going to have a real fight.
Because Johnny's going to force it.
Don't let him get comfortable. Deep breath. Let that jab touch him. Bing, bing. Bing, bing. 2-1-3 with the jab. Gotta set up everything. Remember, don't raise what you shot. When you throw a combination, stay grounded.
Hey, we see Salas cutting that angle and popping that. That was that uppercut that I spoke about. Cut that little bit of angle. Got on the invisible side of Johnny there and cracked a little sneaky right uppercut to hit him right in the chin.
And also the presence of mind to keep those shots short off that turn. Very important.
Okay. Muy bien.
You got a guy with a 72-inch reach. You want to punch inside those long arms. Salas doing a good job so far doing that.
Round number 3, the southpaw Salas in the black and gray, red and white trunks for Prince Johnny. 17 years the elder of his opponent. Combined record of these two men, 34-0 with 28 knockouts.
Ooh, nice stiff jab there from Johnny.
And you see Johnny present himself a little closer now, so it's gonna stress Salas a little bit. You know, a young guy, he's gonna keep throwing, he's gonna have the energy to throw, but you're gonna see if it's gonna be interesting to see if Johnny, if he can keep that real estate close and keep Salas stressed, even if Salas wins the round, to see if he is able to keep this tempo in the second half of the fight. Right now, the youth is working for him.
And his style is one to be a pressure fighter nonetheless, and that's when we've seen the best out of him thus far.
Yeah, you can tell Johnny, he's got a whole different mindset in this round. He's coming out, he's putting on pressure. And man, when he lets those hands go, he's got power. He looks like he's a hard hitter. He's coming with those hard right hands. He's a good knuckle puncher. And Salas, really, it's speed versus power right now.
83% finish rate for Prince Johnny, 81% finish rate for Jose Salas.
Yeah, this is heating up.
Oh, good turn. Again, off the turns.
Nice uppercut. Smile on the face of his opponent.
Beautiful turns, great footwork, awesome lateral movement, and he's always in position to fire, just like you said a few rounds ago, Paul. I mean, really, really nice stuff.
And look at the little subtle steps, even when he's in front of Johnny, when he hasn't turned it. Look at the little half step back, half step forward. You know, so you don't know if he's going to step in forward punching or step in and then step back and then step to the side. Very, very subtle. And again, as I said in round 1, he punches off these movements as well, so it keeps Johnny respecting him.
Yeah, very athletic stuff from Salas. Really like the change of his angles, his spring in his step, that ability to change direction. That's hard to come by.
Yep. And a change in range. You see the little subtle changes in range.
And very well coached, very confident in his team, led by Mario Mendoza. They've been together since he was very young. His nickname, the Little Grasshopper. 40 seconds on the clock here in round 3.
12 counter body shots there by Salas. Very nice work.
Goldie, that is an excellent nickname for this kid. The Little Grasshopper, from that footwork and that little bouncy, springy step he has.
And it's interesting, guys, when we asked his corner and his coach in the fighter meetings, what do you need to do? They talked about pressuring Prince Johnny early to hopefully gain a benefit of wearing him down late. Not so much to finish him early, but to wear him down as the fight goes on.
They're pressuring him with footwork and volume, and it looks like it's starting to wear on Johnny in this round. He's been hit with some big shots. He has not been able to get his own punches off.
So far he is doing what Mario Mendoza said the plan was.
So far, so good. I have him up 3-0.
Respira, ¿ok? Vas a tirar doble jab, ¿ok? Doble jab upper, doble jab recto, doble jab arriba y recto abajo. ¿Ok? El doble jab le está llegando. Respira, mijo, respira, ¿ok? Lo estás haciendo bien, cabrón, ¿ok? Inteligente, respira profundo. ¿Ok? ¿Cómo te sientes?
Here we see, which is one of the keys to victories, well, 2 of them actually, from Salas there, is to throw the left hand down the middle to split the guard of Johnny and then cut an angle and keep punching. He's staying invisible, staying outside that lead foot, doing a really nice job of turning his opponent, but also firing on him, utilizing that real estate the way he wants it.
Prince Johnny, 23-0. Jose Salas, 11-0, round number 4. This fight is scheduled for 10 rounds. It is the first time that Salas has been scheduled for a 10-round fight. His last 4 fights have been scheduled for 8, but he finished them in the 3rd, the 3rd, the 3rd, and the 4th. In fact, Salas has never gone more than 4 rounds in his professional career.
Which is going to be interesting because, again, Johnny's putting a lot of mental pressure on. He's not physically able to catch up to Salas, which is why Salas has a comfortable lead right now. But I don't think even if the lead is comfortable, the fight is comfortable because Johnny is presenting that stressful pressure on him. And for a kid who's not gone a lot of rounds in his professional boxing career and a lot of fights, Johnny seems like a durable guy who could be here a while.
Durable, fit, and powerful guy is Prince Johnny. You can see, I mean, he's still feeling confident. You can tell he's comfortable in there.
I'll tell you, if Salas shows this through the later rounds, I'll tell you what, this is a blue chip prospect. If he can show what he's showing right now through into the later rounds, this is somebody to keep an eye on. Especially against a savvy vet like Johnny.
103 amateur fights for Prince Johnny.
Look at that footwork. In, out, left, right. I love the change of directions.
Given the nickname Octopus by his grandfather, who fought under the same moniker. Good combination, finishes with the right there.
The octopus first, little grasshopper.
Yes, exactly. A good presence of mind, even for Salas. When you watch, his hand positioning is very, very well when he has to get defensive. It's very good awareness of where his hand positioning has to be.
Some of those combinations are Pacquiao-esque. He throws that straight left hand down low and that hard power jab over the top. Very, very sneaky, classy stuff.
45 seconds on the clock here in round 4, and that pressure continues from Salas.
Even though he smoothly steps around as he's punching and uses punches to disguise the step around, that's Lomachenko-esque.
Yes, yeah.
A lot of good qualities in this kid.
Salas has been doing his homework.
There it is right there.
No pressure that you guys just put on him by throwing those names out, guys.
But I tell you, man, this kid is, I like what I'm seeing, man.
And the balance. That's why he's able to still punch from those positions. And also, he does it with power. Yeah. He's not feather-fisted out there. He's landing at the perfect time when his feet are on the ground and he has power in those shots.
And now it's nice being youthful too, man. You see how you can step out and explode back in on a dime, It's like that youthful energy.
Yeah. Yeah, Prince Johnny cannot match that energy.
Respira. ¿Ve? Lo estás haciendo muy bien, mijo. Lo estás haciendo bien. Respira. Ok. Mucho cuidado con quedarte, güey. Mucho cuidado. Le metes muy buena combinación, pero no te me quedes al frente de él. Viene tu combinación, sacas un lateral y sigues golpeando si quieres, ¿ok?
Te está cazando con la...
Te está venadeando. Ahora, está muy lenta su pinche derecha, güey.
Have a look at a nice sharp left hand by Salas on the counter. You see a lazy jab by Prince Johnny. You see Salas rocking back his weight again and then shooting with that hard, sharp left hand. And you see again is the shifting of weight as we talked about, and he keeps his balance so well on that counter. You saw the rock back onto the back foot, and then you use that back foot leverage to fire that left hand. And it makes it miss ever so slightly.
Yeah, and as we get set for the start of round number 5, this is officially the longest fight of Jose Salas's professional career. Uncharted territory against the very experienced Prince Johnny. Prince Johnny in the red and white trunks, black and gray for Salas. Chris, how do you have it scored thus far?
I have it 4 rounds to nothing for the young Salas. I mean, he's looking phenomenal out there. We've already likened him to Manny Pacquiao and Vasily Lomachenko, so obviously we like what he's doing in there.
Paulie, you agree?
Yeah, I agree. And again, the curious part of the fight is coming upon us now. Rounds where Salas has not been to, and Johnny is not looking like he's going to go anywhere. He's been hit, he's losing every round here, but Johnny still has the body language of a winner. Nice sharp counter uppercut he lands there. But again, Salas is a nice return. He's hungry, he's firing.
Now, Goldie, you had said this is the longest he's ever been in a fight. I mean, I would say that the young man, his career starts right now.
Yeah,
as far as being a professional.
And against a guy like Johnny, much older, yes, but impressive record and a lot of finishes. When asked about the 10-rounder and the possibility of being here in round 5 and maybe further, he and his coach said he is a dedicated athlete, comes from a track and field background, so they really weren't concerned about the gas tank. Time will certainly tell. Midway point of round number 5.
Yeah, it makes sense having an athletic background in track. You know, he's very springy, he's very explosive.
Yes.
You know, he's got a good gas tank, it seems. So it makes sense. I mean, I always say you don't have to be a good athlete to be a good boxer, but it definitely helps.
Yeah, this kid's a good athlete.
Yeah,
you can tell on the subtle side steps and the change of turns, how he's able to, you know, stop on a dime and fire like that.
Oh! He with a big right hand from Prince Johnny there.
Yeah, he was looking for that uppercut. Took a big right hand over the top. He's got to watch himself, and that's what I mean about Johnny. He's going to be there. A little clash of heads there as well. Lefty versus righty. You always got to watch those.
Yeah, the second half of this fight could be very interesting.
38 years old, 5'9", fighting at 122 still. Outside of Ray Vargas, long-standing world champion. Don't see a lot of 38-year-olds able to still make that weight. So good on Prince Johnny.
He's coming on. This is his best round so far. He's landed a couple good right hands.
And remember, we talked about, Paulie, how the game plan for Salas was to try to wear him down early. Looks like Prince Johnny's bringing it up here in round 5.
He is, but I don't know if he's winning the round. I mean, he's landing, but still Salas is landing more than him.
Yes. Yeah, I was saying it was his best round, not necessarily a winning round.
Salas holding it very strongly there. Good catch and shoot attempt by Johnny. Just missed with that hook.
Fun fight so far. Here's Johnny landing that right, guys.
Yeah, that big right hand as Salas was trying to come with that upward uppercut with the lead hand, and Johnny timed it. That's the thing. You don't necessarily have to be the faster man to land the punch. George Foreman used to say, timing beats speed.
And you see what he's, go ahead.
And then so, utilize the pull and counter. We haven't seen that. Honestly, I just think that Salas is too fast. He's not being able to see those punches to pull away and come back. Use the uppercuts on the inside. He hasn't been in front of him long enough to land the uppercut on the inside. And don't plot forward. That's exactly what he has been doing, because he's dealing with the lateral movement and in and out of Salas.
Okay, y sigues golpeando lateral y sigues golpeando.
That and then some, you know, keep the opponent turning. He's done a great job of doing that, and he attacked the body. He's attacked everything, good body shots as well. Another thing to note on that replay, the reason Salas made that move to the right to try to throw that up jab, because Johnny had a nice feint with the jab. He feinted the jab, and Salas was looking to slip that jab and come with the up jab underneath it, and instead Johnny threw the straight right hand after the feint jab, and once Salas had bid on it, throwing that up jab, he got hit with the right hand. So very nice little work by Johnny. I don't know if it won him the round, but
no, I didn't give it the round. But.
Yeah, me neither. But you know, again, you see the subtle veteran tricks that Salas has to be careful with.
Using that timing to combat the speed and the youthfulness.
17 years, 6 days younger than the 2008 Olympian from Ghana, Prince Johnny. Salas went the distance twice in his career. They were very early 4-rounders. It was his professional debut and his 3rd pro fight in which he went the full 4. This is the first time he's been in 5, and now round 6.
Oh, nice straight popping left hand there.
He is much to what we talked about earlier, Chris. He is extremely athletic.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, his ability to change directions and shift body weight and keep his balance. Impressive physical specimen in Salas. And so far, the gas tank, because he has not stopped moving.
Right.
He's even making some moves he doesn't need to make at this point.
Nice being young. Oh, nice right hand there by Johnny.
Just past the midway point of round number 6. First 22 fights as a professional for Prince Johnny.
Oh yeah.
We're in his home country of Ghana.
Got his attention. That was a good shot.
Another good shot by Salas.
Good body shot in there, too, from Salas.
Yeah, nice step back and step back in by Salas. Quick explosion back in after he had Salas, had Johnny missing. Prince's legs a little unsteady, slightly unsteady.
Prince fought in Detroit last year. This is his second straight fight here in the U.S. First on ProBox TV for both of these men. 23-0 against 11-0. Big swing and a miss.
I don't care what happens from here on out. I want to see Salas back here in ProBox.
He is a very fun fighter to watch.
If that little grasshopper nickname doesn't stick, I'm going to call him the Energizer Bunny.
There you go.
Good shot selection, nice shots again, going down to the body. A straight left hand, all the keys, Chris.
Yeah, and Champ, you know what else I like about him? He keeps his head off the line.
Yes.
Always gets his head off line.
And you know what? He's keeping his head off line with the feints, and he's keeping his head off line. He's firing off it as well with that head movement, you know? Sometimes he fires off it, sometimes he doesn't. See it right here, he's not firing off it. But he can make those same exact little moves, and then he fires off them, which makes him hard to time.
Nice try there from Prince John. He went down low, came back upstairs with a rare combination.
And the changes in range, it just is what's keeping Johnny. Why the combinations are rare, because Salas changed range so fast.
Now, Johnny moves up for the open. He's got slow feet anyway, so now you got a guy who's really moving on you. He's got no chance to get set.
Ahorita lo lastimaste muy bien. No hiciste el lateral que te pedí. Recuérdate. Si lo lastimas, laterales. Fintas y laterales.
Feints and good that round, which, you know, I thought he got his attention as well. You see some of the action from that replay.
Look at that.
You see he walked him right into that short right hook / jab here again. And here's a sharp counter. Again, another counter, right? Punching inside of the longer, wider punches of Johnny. Again, good awareness by Salas. Yeah, because you got to be really focused. I mean, it looks easier than it actually is in that replay to be inside that storm and punch inside of a guy as he's firing as well. It takes a lot of concentration, focus, and very, very good eyes and timing. And Salas showed you that in a very nice replay from our truck.
You read my mind when you said awareness, so that was the word that came to mind when you could see what he was doing in there during that replay.
Yeah, really, really good-looking prospect here, Salas.
So you have Johnny, the octopus, so he's got the 8 limbs, but none of those 8, with the moniker, of course, have been able to slow down the little grasshopper. He's just bouncing around quickly.
I think Prince Johnny could have 8 arms at this point. He still wouldn't be able to catch his hit.
Yeah, he needs faster legs. Again, nice little step out, 1-2. Salas, another thing we've seen a lot of is change in range, taking away the range from Johnny and then get him leaning and countering it with 1-2s. There's a counter up jab. That was the one he was looking for a few rounds ago when he got hit with the right hand.
But Johnny didn't feint that time.
No. When you get tired, it takes energy to feint too.
So that's a great point, because a lot of people don't understand. Feinting makes you tired because they're so explosive. You have to make a very quick sprinting type move. Feinting is tiring.
Yeah, that was one of the things. You know, I like it when you're getting tired, Goldie. I like it till a ship that's sinking, and so you got to get rid of stuff just to keep the weight off it. One of the first things that you throw off the ship when you're tiring is your feints. Yeah. That's one of the first things you're not going to waste energy on, because you got to punch and you got to move to protect yourself. So
I'm thinking about it in a whole different way. What comes off the ship first, but we'll just leave it at that. We'll leave it.
So on the sinking ship of fatigue, one of the first things that always goes is the feints. You throw those overboard first.
Well, I just want you guys to know that I would not throw either of you overboard.
Thank you, Goldie.
You would be the last to survive.
You know, if I'm Prince Johnny at this point, we're getting into the territory where you need a knockout to win. And I'm the kind of guy who thinks, listen, I'm going to go out on my shield. And I think Prince Johnny might be that type of guy as well. He needs to just let his hands go. But he's getting gun shy.
And then can he get close to range? Because, you know, the thing about letting your hands go, you got to be in range to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can get in range. I think he's been wanting to let his hands go all fight, champ. You know?
That's what I mean. Like, he's that kind of guy. But
he's got the body language that he's not quitting on himself, but he just can't find Salas. And when he does, Salas gets off first.
But even though he missed every punch he threw, he's got to just do more of that. It's his only chance. He's got to clip. He's got to try and clip Salas.
Hey, look, Salas has an answer every time.
And in that exchange, guys, it was Salas who was able to land the punch.
Yep. He's been doing that since round 1. Yeah. His ability to answer has been brilliant.
And how often does Johnny connect with something, but the hand positioning of Salas is immaculate? You know, he catches it.
Look at that. It looks like Salas is fighting this fight as if he sees Johnny in slow motion. He's literally able to perfectly place himself so he's out of range, in between his punches. Picks his shots. His 6 shot selection has been brilliant tonight.
Tell you, man, hopefully Salas doesn't let this performance get to his head, because we've been talking him up, and he looks great. I know when I used to have really good performances like this, I used to let it get to my head in the next fight. I didn't look so good. Even if I won, I never looked that good 2 fights in a row. So hopefully Salas is a better focus than I did.
I always say looking bad's not necessarily a bad thing, because you get good fights. You get good opportunities after. Can't look too good, you'll never get a good fight.
Now, start walking this board down.
Yeah.
You have to get behind your guard, tighten up, walk them down the jab, drop. Remember how you was tapping everybody in the gym? Hands up, walk them down. When you touch them upstairs, drop to the body, bring them shot back up. Deep breath. Deep breath.
There we see the reach from Johnny. He's trying to go in there, but just there's that beautiful Matrix-style head movement from Salas. Like I said, it's almost like he's seeing Johnny in slow motion, being able to perfectly, deftly just miss those punches. I would say good defense is subtle. Make a guy miss by a millimeter, and you can counter.
That's the ideal defense, is to make him miss by just a millimeter, so you get the most commitment from him, so you can counter him the best.
The Hall of Famer, Mario Mendoza, the trainer of Jose Salas. Mario's wife, Princess Azteca, boxing and kickboxing Hall of Famer, former world champion in 2 weight classes. Johnny comes out aggressively here in round 8. Not that he hasn't been aggressive before, but he hasn't been able to make it work.
Well, champ, he's going for broke, like you said.
His only chance. It's his only chance. He landed a good body shot on the inside, actually, did Prince Johnny. Oh, here we go. This is what he needs to do.
Johnny with a lot of energy here.
First time Salas has held on.
Mike
I think he's just trying
to Chris Algieri.
I think he's trying to stop the momentum a little bit. Which is not bad, because guys like Johnny, they're like a locomotive. You know, you got to restart the engine, and it takes a little bit to start that fast again. But Johnny trying.
I would imagine he probably got a tongue lashing in the corner, saying, "Listen, champ, we're down. We need something big." Oh.
Co-main event, Alvarez Musayev coming up next. Our main event tonight features the former world champion, Louis Collazo. Round 8.
Good body shot there by Johnny. Second, let's see now. He started the round fast. Look at a little uppercut there by Salas. Started the round fast, did Johnny. Does he have anything left for the second half of the round now?
He's also taking a lot of punishment. That tires you out too.
Yeah, and again, Salas has you missing just barely, like you said in the replays. You know, when you just make a guy miss just barely, you can get the best commitment at him to counter him. It's not that impressive when you make a guy miss by 20 feet, because all it means to me is you're scared to get that close, and you can never make him pay unless you're making him miss by just a short margin.
Beautiful body shot Salas through in the middle of that nice combination.
For a young professional who, before tonight, had never gone deeper than 4 rounds, he looks pretty darn sharp here in round number 8.
I mean, we're more than halfway through round number 8. He's still snappy, still moving, has not stopped, although Prince Johnny's definitely having his best round of the fight so far. He's landed more punches this round than I think he has all night combined.
And he's pushed it a little bit this round as well. He had the control of the tempo of the first half of the round. Oof.
And no lack of confidence for the 21-year-old in his first fight outside of his home country in Mexico, working body. Final 30, now 20 seconds here in round 8. Fight scheduled for 10.
Looks like Salas wants that beginning of the round back. Yeah, he's pushing it, trying to really close it so he can steal the round back.
Yeah, he's trying to. I tell you, he's getting off some shots here.
No,
nice left
that
hand.
might have won it from there. Good left hand at the bell.
Headed to round 9.
You remember Ben Taki, Chris?
Yes. Yeah.
Prince reminds you a little bit of Ben Taki. In his look, he's not very creative. He's just a real sturdy guy, but he's not really nothing really that jumps out at you. But he's there, and he's rough if you can't handle it. But if you can handle it, he's kind of confused.
Do you remember Ben Taki versus Robert Garcia?
Yeah.
He was out boxing for 9.5 rounds, and he got knocked out with the right hand.
Yeah. He stopped Garcia.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was down 9.5 rounds to 9. Knocked him out. Here we go. This is what we talked about. What I wanted Prince Johnny to do. It's his only chance. Just go for broke. He came out that round letting both hands go, which was a good tactic. Here we saw Salas actually tie up. He got hit with a few body shots, get hit with some right hands. But toward the end of the round, it swung back to Salas' favor.
Tie your shots up.
Punched himself out a little bit.
Tie your shots
Salas
up.
didn't want to give up even half a round.
Come on, baby, walk him down.
38.
Yeah, it can happen when you're 28.
Speaking about tag, we talked about that fight, but you also remember against Kashazu where he didn't win a second of the fight.
Yeah.
With Kasha's really savvy boxing, and that can happen to a guy like Prince as well. You know, he is what he is. He's very sturdy, but there's not a lot that jumps out at you. Really good chin, real sturdy. He's going to present himself in front of you, but he's not very creative overall, and he's got a really creative guy in front of him in Salas.
Looking to move to 12-0 and earn the most marquee win of his young professional career.
Ooh. Hey, Johnny means business, though. He threw out a hook with some steam on it, and you hit Salas on the shoulder.
Yeah, I've been saying that all night. So you can just tell when a guy can punch, and he's got power. He just hasn't been able to really touch Salas all that much.
Johnny trying, though. He's not going anywhere. Right hand.
And I'll say, we're speaking a lot about Salas as being an athlete, but guess what? He's a fighter, too. Because he's taking big shots, and he has not deterred his ability or what he's going for.
And credit to Johnny. He's committing to it. And credit to Salas, man. I mean, he's not running from it either.
No,
like you said.
that's my point.
You know, he's trying to stand there and fire back. Both have had some good moments in this round and some good action for the fans as well.
And in our fighter meetings yesterday, Jose Salas, one of the things he did say about Prince Johnny is that he's very resilient. Now, it's very late in this fight, but much to his point, Johnny's still right here trying to do some damage. Question is, will he be able to do so?
And a black eye starting to develop under the eye of left eye of Salas as well. So Johnny's getting there as well now in these later rounds.
Yeah, I saw that right hand. It's immediately the eye started to blacken and swell. It was a nice hard right hand. Like I mentioned, you know, he's a knuckle puncher. People at home might not really understand what that means. Certain guys, you can tell they know where their knuckles are in the glove. They turn their punches over. Johnny does that well, and that's when you see guys who are able to leave marks with their punches like that.
Good sharp shots inside again by Salas inside of the attack of Johnny. Drives Johnny back a little bit.
And Chris, that's a great point, and that is very much why Prince Johnny has finished 19 of his 23 pro wins.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a heavy-handed guy. He places his punches well. He just got someone in front of him tonight. He's like a whirling dervish in there. He's just non-stop, just back and forth, in and out.
So that right hand is always in position of fire, though, for Johnny. You see where it is? He's ready to shoot it.
Yeah.
Even when he's defending, so he's looking for it, man. It's just Salas is so quick.
Yeah, he's got the thing holstered.
Yep.
It's finished or no longer be unbeaten in your professional career for Prince Johnny. As we get set for the 10th and final round. Oh! And a knockdown by Jose Salas.
He turned, you speak of knuckle turns, he turned that knuckle over, too.
That was high on the head, too.
You see Johnny saying a little bit of a slip. Maybe it was also while he was stepping back, but still nonetheless, a good shot landed. You saw, like, I noticed Salas' elbow came over, so like, he kind of turned that knuckle over on this shot. I'm curious to see it on the replay.
Looked like one of those shots high in the head. Sometimes those shots that crick your neck and can take your legs away for a moment. That's the right hand that caused that little bit of a mark under the eye. You saw the knuckle right to the eye, and right away he got on his toes, started moving.
You see that nice left hand there by Salas. Short shot. As you can see, he lifts the elbow up so you can throw it shorter. When you throw it straight, you want to keep the elbow in tight. When you lift the elbow, it's for the shorter shots, and that's what a nice adjustment by Salas as well. That's again subtle thing right there. If you don't lift your elbow with a short left hand like that, you're not going to get that leverage on it. But if you lift the elbow from the outside, you're not going to get leverage on it from a distance punch. So again, the little subtleties in technique, and Salas has them all.
10th and final round. 21-year-old, 11-0, Jose Salas. The southpaw has been ultra impressive against 38-year-old Prince Johnny. Black black and gray trunks for Salas, red and white for Johnny. Salas previously had not gone deeper than round number 4 as a pro.
And here we are in the 10th round, and Salas is still in and out, side to side, constantly moving. Little grasshopper living up to his name.
And off a round that he scored a sweet knockdown in as well.
Right before that, I said Johnny needs a finish or his unbeaten record will be no longer, even with the knockdown. He needed that finish regardless, and it needs to come in the next 2 minutes, or Jose Salas will be the first to defeat Prince Johnny as a professional.
Nice shot selection there. Jab downstairs, straight left cross up to the top.
Beautiful timing.
Yeah, good shot.
Just love the pace that Salas has literally been on the same pace, that high level of energy.
Yeah, he did it. It worked so nice.
Yep.
He did it twice, Goldie.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh,
Nice sharp counter right hand. Now Johnny leaning a little too much.
And a check right hook to put for good measure.
For 9.5 rounds.
And one of my trainers, Sharif Uter, used to call that combination rooftop. Jab to the stomach and the cross to the head. It was also the combination that I broke my hand in against Lobov.
Hit the wrong brick on the roof.
Yeah, exactly. That was a lot of bricks on that roof.
There were a lot of bricks on that roof. 1 minute.
He's looking to set up again, too. He's looking for that.
Oh, yeah.
A little hard jab, and then did it again. Left hand over the top.
He'd like to keep this 8-fight knockout streak going. More than anything, Salas is going to really get some attention around the boxing world for the performance that he is putting on right here, right now on your boxing channel, ProBox TV.
And it's not just a performance, it's the performance against a solid guy.
Yes.
You can tell Johnny is no slouch, listen, he's not world class. Again, I remember I told you, I compared him to Ben Tacky. Nothing jumps out at you, but this guy, he's there, he's live, and you can see right there, he's still throwing hard right hands at Salas, just took one on the out.
Seems like Salas thinks he found lightning in a bottle with that left hand. He keeps going back to it. He's like, oh, I dropped him last round. Let me see if I can get him out of there.
But Johnny reminds him with that right hand, like, yo,
I'm still
don't come out of pocket too much.
Final seconds of the fight. They go the distance. Great performance by 21-year-old Jose the Little Grasshopper Salas. Johnny stayed in it the entire time, just unable to keep up with the pace of the opponent, 17 years and 6 days younger.
That young man can fight.
Yes. A lot of fun to watch too, Chris.
The shots again, punching inside of Johnny, turning in there, and with those short little shots on the counter as well, having the presence of mind to keep those shots shorts off that turn, again, turns and combinations. It wasn't just that, he was turning and doing all the things. He's throwing in combination off those turns. He's countering in combinations. He's leading in combinations. Nice sharp shots when he threw them even single. Nice little counter left hand there as well from Salas.
Yeah, I feel like Salas grew during this fight. He got more mature as the fight went on. He had to really, not necessarily struggle, but he was working really hard early on in the fight, trying to do everything perfect. Then he got relaxed, and then Johnny got a little slower. Even though he came on throwing big shots, you could tell Salas, he was comfortable being right in the eye of the storm, and that shows a lot of maturity in a young man who's got very, much less experience than the guy in front of him. And he went out there and pulled the trigger whenever he needed to, literally made everything work.
And this is one of those fights where it makes you better. You grow in confidence, because Johnny kept him working the whole time. He made it look easy, but this was not an easy fight. This is one of those shutout fights where you had to work for it, you had to think your way through it, and you had to stay consistent the whole time. And you learn something about yourself when you go through fights like that. You better yourself from going through fights like that.
The official decision is in, and let's get it to Mark Lichtenfeld.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 fast-paced rounds, we go to the scorecards. All three judges, Braden Jackson, Rodolfo Aguilar, and Shami Shipman, score the bout 100-89. 100-89. For your winner by unanimous decision, el ganador por decisión unánime, Jose Chapulín Salas.
So a shutout thrown in the minds of the judges by 21-year-old Jose Salas. The first man to defeat Ghana's Prince Johnny. Can't wait to watch him fight again. And Paulie, use your magic and get him to fight again right here on ProBox TV. All right?
We'll talk to Gary Jonas.
There you go. First time fighting outside of his home country of Mexico, and Chris, absolutely no effect.
No. I mean, if anything, he stepped up even more so. I mean, he kept his gas to the pedal all night long. He set a torrid pace early on, and his ability to keep that up throughout, super impressed.
Coming up next, our co-main event of the evening, Vadim Musayev, 5-0, 2 finishes, the Russian fighting here on ProBox TV for the second straight time. He faces off against Martin the King Alvarez, who is also unbeaten at 7-0. And then our main event of the evening, Louis Collazo, 41 years old, the former world champion, against Ángel Ruiz. That one in the super welterweight division. That one scheduled for 10 rounds. What a great way to get things started with the 21-year-old. A lot of fun to watch, and we expect more of the same here on a Wednesday night on your boxing channel, ProBox TV. We don't promote boxers, we promote boxing. So 2 more fights tonight, and then it's time for a little Cinco de Mayo celebration as it fast approaches, and one of boxing's pound-for-pound kings, Canelo Alvarez, takes center stage to fight John Ryder from Guadalajara, Mexico, Saturday, May 6th. ProBox TV kicks off the celebration from Guadalajara that same week, Wednesday, May 3rd, another night of good fighters and great fights, brought to you by our partners at Canelo Promotions, Clase Y Talento. Join us for all the action here on ProBox TV on May 3rd. We are your boxing channel. And coming up, every other Wednesday, we keep it busy. We're either here at the world headquarters, or we work our way to Mexico, and we work our way back here to the world headquarters in Plant City. And when you look at the schedule that we're going to keep secret from you for now, when you look at the schedule forthcoming, it's one that should be one the boxing fans, Paulie, just lock it in and say Wednesday, we're the new Marv Albert and Ferdy Perchenko.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, we're back in the day, the older boxing fans remember Tuesday night fights. You know, some of the younger ones will still remember Friday night fights on ESPN. And you know what it was? You knew every week you were going to sit down and it was going to be a good show. You know, it was not going to be world championship boxing, but it was going to be just beneath world championship boxing. And guys who you might see on the championship nights maybe in the future, or might work their way there, or guys who had just been there and maybe had, you know, fallen down a step. You know, even we're very similar to that. You know, with Louis Collazo, we have here tonight. Louis Collazo's been in many a championship nights of boxing. Now you're seeing him here. He's able to perform well. He's looking to get himself back there. You got an opponent like Ángel Ruiz, who of course is hoping to be there, one of the stars of tomorrow. Again, so we give you that same thing, and it's that same feel. Only instead of weekly, we're bi-weekly. Hey man, you know, we need a week off here and there. You know, so we'll go bi-weekly, but it's the same kind of feel, the same kind of thing, and you know, boxing fans can just set it on the calendar. Every 2 weeks, ProBox TV, you will have live fights on Wednesday nights. Wednesday night fights. ProBox TV.
Fights. And we had Ray Beltran earlier on ProBox TV. That one, a former champion as well, as we get set for our co-main event of the evening, 8-round super welterweight matchup. Russia's Vadim Musayev, putting his unbeaten record on the line. He's been training in South Florida. His first fight in the U.S. was right here on ProBox TV. It was back in September of last year. His opponent is 22-year-old, 7-0, Martin Alvarez. Alvarez competing in his first career 8-round fight here tonight. Musayev has worked his way into our ProBox TV ring. He is a guy who we got to watch, Paulie, for 1 minute and 42 seconds back in this fight right here against Enver Halili, and he was able to get a quick finish.
Yeah, we didn't get to see a lot of him, but we know this guy's background. We saw him in a very short night the last time we saw him, one of his 2 stoppage wins here, and you get a little bit of an understanding of him. He looks at control range with that lead arm, and then he's looking to set up big shots behind that control of range, and there was a counter left hand there, and again, the follow-up there combination and a quick stoppage. We didn't see a lot of him, but again, we saw enough to know that he's quality, good balance, good weight behind the shots. Looking forward to seeing more of him tonight.
Yeah, Vadim actually trains at my gym over at the over in Boca, and so I've seen quite a bit of him in the gym. Not so much during a fight night. Obviously, we didn't see a whole lot here, but definitely a talented young man with a lot of amateur experience.
Well, Chris, you know him very well, so what are the keys for Vadim tonight?
Vadim, he's big for this weight class. He definitely has a size advantage over his opponents, so he has to impose that will early on. He's also a southpaw with a lot of experience, so if he can utilize that stance against his opponent, that's a great idea. Next, don't pull with your punches. A lot of times amateur fighters, when they take that step into the pro ranks, they're used to scoring points with touches rather than trying to turn them over and hurt people. We saw in his last fight he can, so he should do that tonight as well. And also sit down on your punches. Again, making that transition from that high amateur IQ, bringing it into the fight, into the professional fight game, where it really is the hurt business, and we want to score knockouts.
So those are the keys to victory for Musayev to look to remain unbeaten as a professional. His opponent, 22-year-old Martin Alvarez. His last fight was November of 2021. 1 year, 5 months, and 7 days ago. He is trained at home, also spent some time at Wildcard in Los Angeles for this fight. He called himself a smart brawler. Paulie, his keys to victory.
Yeah. Alvarez has to be all the way in or all the way out. You got a tall guy in front of you. Don't languish at that middle range where you're just in the range of Musayev, where you're not close enough. So be all the way out where you're out of danger, or all the way in where you can do your damage. Punch in between opponents' combos. Musayev sometimes is a little wide. Get inside there and get the respect early. Start fast. Let Musayev know you're there for business, and you're not just an opponent.
So it is our co-main event of the evening and our tail of the tape for this battle of unbeatens. Now fighting out of South Florida, Hollywood, Florida. The Russian is 30 years old, 8 years the elder of his opponent. He is 4 inches taller, but it is Alvarez who will have the reach advantage. With the official introductions of our co-main event, here is Mark Lichtenfeld.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next contest is scheduled for 8 rounds in the welterweight division. Esta pelea está pautada a 8 saltos en el peso welter. Los jueces, your judges, Brian Gary, Braden Jackson, and Rodolfo Aguilar. And your referee in charge, El Arbitro, Emil Lombardi. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black with silver, en la esquina azul con pantalones negro y plateado. Weighing in at 150 pounds, pesando 150 libras, con récord 7 victorias, 0 derrotas, con 6 por la vía del knockouts. With a record of 7 wins, no losses, 6 wins by knockouts. De la Villa de Ahome, Sinaloa, Mexico, Martin El Rey Alvarez. And fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black with gold, en la esquina rojo con pantalones negro y dorado. pesando 147.25 libras, weighing in at 147 1/4 pounds, with a record of 5 wins, no losses, with 2 wins by knockout. Con récord 5 victorias, 0 derrotas, con 2 por la vía del knockout. From Delray Beach, Florida, he is Vadim Musayev.
All right, guys, we went over the rules in the locker room, all right? I expect a good, clean fight out of both of you. Pay close attention to my commands. Protect yourself at all times. Touch them up, wait for the bell.
Set for our co-main event of the evening. Vast amateur experience for 30-year-old Vadim Musayev, a silver medalist at the 2021 World Championships. His opponent, Martin Alvarez, fighting outside of Mexico for the first time in his young career. Here we go. It's time to fight. Musayev, the southpaw, in the black and gold trunks, black and silver trunks for Martin Alvarez.
Musayev with that nice, straight, hard left hand to the body. He's thrown 2 already. Landed that second one nicely. There's a third one.
First 3 fights of Musayev's professional career all went the 4-round distance. He has finished his last 2 opponents. One of them previously mentioned right here in this building back in September of last year.
He's using a nice slicing right hook too from that southpaw position right there. He pulls back long.
Yeah, it's almost like a check where he's trying to get Alvarez leaning.
A slicing check with the right, and then he's looking for that hard straight left hand to the midsection.
Co-main event scheduled for 8. Alvarez, as I mentioned, considers himself a smart brawler. Musayev is definitely a tricky southpaw.
You almost see the scoring system of Musayev with the amateur scoring system. He shoots those sharp left hands and looks to get out, you know. Not a lot of combinations, but he looks to keep those short little shots in little pockets.
Yeah, he does a lot of that pawing, though. I saw that on the tape, and that can be a detriment if you've got a good sharp puncher in front of you in the pro ranks. Ooh, good looping left hand there.
And watch for the check right hook from Musayev.
Speaking of check right hook, he went for a counter left hand, Goldie. We all didn't expect that.
He pulled the trigger tight on that one.
It is all over, just like that. Another first-round finish for Vadim Musayev.
I'll tell you, Goldie, this was more impressive because this guy was live in front of him. This guy was trying to fight. This guy was trying to, close the gap. He was trying to get that respect, champ, like was one of the keys that you had down there. But in trying to get that respect, he walked into that sharp left hand. And Goldie, you made a good point. Looking for that sharp check hook. We were all looking for the check hook. Yep. We didn't expect the counter left hand, and I don't think Alvarez did either. I think Alvarez got used to maybe a check hook coming where the weight is kind of going back and it's not as strong. And that time Musayev sat down and timed that with a hard left hand, and Alvarez walked right into it unexpectedly.
That was a beautiful shot. He set it up with that straight left hand to the body. You're expecting the body shot, and then he throws it upstairs. I don't think Alvarez saw that coming at all.
Yeah, and he got up real groggy, and not a bad stoppage at all by the referee. I mean, he got up on shaky legs.
Third straight finish for 30-year-old Vadim Musayev. Second straight finish right here on ProBox TV. Once again, he is able to end his opponent's night in round number 1.
We talk about right, you're looking for that check hook. Well, you're not going to get a check hook here. A nice, sharp left hand. Musayev holds his ground and then fires that short left hand and then steps back. You see it right there. Watch Alvarez. He steps in, boom, fall right into it. And he throws it coming down as well, champ. So, you get that leverage coming like a chop right on that chin of Alvarez.
You look at his hand position. He keeps great hand position. He's got that left hand tight to his chin, which allows him to pull the trigger and throw a super short, hard left hand. I mean, there was no fat on that punch, as I like to say. It was lean, it was short. It got there. Beautiful shot.
And when you talk about awareness in the last fight, well, that's awareness as well. There, knowing to shoot that shot the way because it wasn't anything but the preciseness and the selection of the way he chose to throw. You can throw that shot in a lot of different ways. If you're stepping back too fast, you're not going to get the same amount of weight on it. He held his ground just at the right moment, put the weight on it at the right moment, and then hop back, as you noticed, to pay attention to defense. Of course, he didn't need to in that moment because Alvarez fell, but nonetheless, he was aware all around.
To make this one official, once again, we get it up to Mark Lichtenfeld.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Emil Lombardi stops this contest at 2 minutes, 3 seconds of the first round. Your winner by technical knockout, el ganador por knockout técnico, Vadim Musayev.
By knockout in tonight's co-main event of the evening. And he's through the translator. He's a fun guy to talk to and interview. And once the question was asked about his style and what he does well and all of the above, Chrissy goes, my style is like Mike Tyson. Now, it took a translator and a couple of different ways to ask him that, but I'd say in the last 2 fights, he's kind of done the Mike Tyson, maybe the last 3 now, finishes in the third, and now back-to-back finishes in the first for Musayev.
Oh, when it comes to crushing power, if you're going to compare him to Mike Tyson, he does have that. Super short punch. Here we go. Look at that shot. I mean, he just pulled the trigger, threw it right from his guard, his hand position, caught his guy coming in, didn't see it coming. This is one of those knockouts where you wake up in the locker room like, did I win? I don't think so.
And they got to tell you how it ended.
Yeah.
Big fight coming up this weekend. Long-awaited, highly anticipated. Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis. And right here on ProBox TV, we were able to visit with the one, the only, Oscar De La Hoya.
What were your thoughts on Ryan not taking that warm-up fight? Did you have a talk? Did you talk to Ryan about that?
Right. Yeah, no, it's a good point. I was obviously all for the warm-up fight. I mean, being an ex-fighter myself, you want to stay, keep the tools sharp. You want to make sure that your timing is on point. You want to make sure that those feelings you get inside the ring. Not that you forget them if you have a long layoff, but you just you get a little rusty, like they say in boxing. And so I was all for the warm-up fight, but Ryan Garcia was set on not taking it for whatever reason. I have no clue, but
did he speak to you about it, or did you guys?
Yeah, we spoke about it. We spoke about it, and look, Ryan's his own guy, and he knows what he's doing, I guess.
Just a small sample of what we're bringing you here on ProBox TV, the talk shows, the daily newscasts. We are your boxing channel, Paulie. We are your destination of choice, and all 3 of us are happy that one of those fights that we've been waiting so long to happen is happening with Garcia and Tank.
Yeah. Boxing never gives you all the fights they want, but you know what? Sometimes it goes through little pockets where you get some really good fights. And we're coming up on a schedule coming up in the next couple of months where I think we're going to get a a lot of fun fights, some really anticipated fights, and boxing fans are sort of salivating. We're at a moment in the schedule where boxing fans are really, really happy, I think.
And Chris, we are going to cover those fights and all the others around the world 24/7, 365 in depth.
Oh yeah, ProBox TV is your one-stop channel if you want to know anything about boxing. We cover everything. We do the news, we get the podcast, we get the live fights, we have video on demand fights. So really, everything you could want, you can get right here.
That is why we call ourselves your boxing channel, and we are set for our main event of the evening. Is once again ProBox TV features a former world champion, the former WBA welterweight world champion Louis Collazo, looking for the 40th win of his career. His opponent is 25-year-old Ángel Ruiz, who has 17 victories, 12 of those coming by way of knockout. Going back to the very top of the show, we talked about Louis Collazo, and both you men know him very well. Paulie, you basically grew up with him.
Yeah. We know each other since we're teenagers. You know, we were on the same amateur team. We sort of turned pro around the same time as well. Same generation. Amateur classes are sort of like college classes, where you know you go through a 4-year stint. As a senior at that time, you know, you went through a 4-year stint. And every Olympic year, there's a big generation that turns pro. And so we sort of turned pro after the 2000 Olympic year. Neither of us made the Olympics. Louis actually qualified for the 2000 Olympic trials, so he turned pro a little bit before me. But nonetheless, we both came out of that generation, very similar age. We came up together, had been friends for a long time, and you know, it's very interesting too. I've called some of his fights in the past, and he's always a very savvy guy, very smart guy, and is yet to really be taken out in a way where you say, okay, you know, this guy should stop fighting. You know, sometimes you look at a 42-year-old and you say, oh, you know, should he be fighting? Collazo has not been beaten that way yet. Now, again, Father Time can catch up to you at any point, but he's not been beaten that way yet. So I'm curious to see tonight against an energetic guy like Ángel Ruiz, and a guy who has one of my ex-trainers training him as well. I've got a connection in the other corner as well, because Eric Brown was my trainer out of LA, and I won my second world championship with him. I won the WBA welterweight title, which is a title that Louis Collazo had. It's a lot of 6 degrees of separation for me in this fight, and I won it with Eric Brown. And you know, he's got a savvy guy in his corner. He's an energetic guy in his corner. Savvy experience versus youthful energy. Gonna be a good fight.
And Chris, you hear the crowd reacting to the entrance of Louis Collazo, and he is a full-time grandfather now. He has 4 grandchildren.
It's not a joke.
Yeah, it's not a joke.
He'll be 42 this week, and he's got 4 grandkids.
4 grandkids, ages 11, 7, 4, and 1. Take it away from boxing, because we know all about that. He was a lot of fun and very enthusiastic in the fighter interviews.
Yeah, I mean, Paulie mentioned that it's like going through a degree, getting, you know, when you come into boxing. I wasn't part of that fraternity. I was from a different world, but yeah, I've known Louis for a long time, and yes, absolutely. I mean, he's here because he wants to be here.
Yes.
He does not have to fight. Listen, again, people at home, he does not have to fight. He wants to fight. When you have that kind of drive, you get a different kind of performance.
Grandpa Louis has made his way into the ProBox TV ring, and man, when you've had a career like his, you've faced the likes of Sugar Shane Mosley, Ricky Hatton,
and if you're wondering,
Victor Ortiz.
Oh yeah, he's been with who's who of guys.
Everybody.
You know, had a nice stoppage win over Ortiz as well. You know, if you're wondering why he's getting such an ovation, he's from Brooklyn, but he's moved here down to Tampa, to the Tampa area 3 years ago. So he's got some fanfare here.
And he's soaking it all in right now, man. There's nothing like that feeling.
As he should. The former world champion, 41-year-old Louis Collazo, his keys to victory.
Yeah, very good, consistent body puncher. Your opponent is tall, so use that big target. You know, work the body early and often. You know, you're gonna have that target there. Get there and work it often. And Collazo is a good inside fighter, so he will go to the body. Punching between the wider shots is something he's done very well throughout his career. When he's gotten guys who are rugged guys who punch wide, he punches very well inside and use the experience. We keep talking about how he's a savvy veteran southpaw. Well, he's got a young southpaw in front of him. Use that savvy experience.
So that is the breakdown, keys to victory for 41-year-old Louis Collazo, looking for his 40th professional win. There's his opponent, 25-year-old Ángel Ruiz. Paulie talked about now working with Eric Brown. He also in the past, Chris, has worked with Manny Robles.
Yeah, I've actually had the honor to call one of Angel's fights in the past. You know, he's a very talented young man, physically strong, and he's not here to lay down. He's here to win and beat the former champ.
And to do so, what are his keys to victory?
Be first. You're the younger guy. You have an older former champion in front of you who hasn't fought in almost 2 years. So you want to be first. You want to attack early. You want to attack often. Next, keep your punches short and tight. Angel has a tendency to punch wide with his elbows kind of flared because he wants to hurt you. He's a power puncher. And then lastly, punch over and under. He's got a great left uppercut, overhand right combination. And if he's going to be successful tonight, he's going to need to land that.
It is our main event of the evening, scheduled for 10 rounds. Our tail of the tape, 41-year-old Louis Collazo. In fact, he will turn 42 on Saturday. The proud Puerto Rican, 5'9". The reach is identical. The age is not. 25-year-old Angel Ruiz looking for the biggest win of his professional career. Official introductions from Mark Lichtenfeld.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is our main event of the evening. 10 rounds of boxing in the junior middleweight division. Está en el evento principal. Pelea pautada 10 asaltos en peso junior mediano. Los jueces, your judges for this bout: Shami Shipman, Brian Gary, and Braden Jackson. Your referee in charge, el arbitro, is Chris Young. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the green, red, and white. En la esquina azul con pantalones verde, rojo y blanco, los colores de la bandera mexicana, pesando 154 libras, weighing in at 154 pounds, with a record of 17 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, with 12 wins by knockout, con récord 17 victorias, 2 derrotas y 1 empate, con 12 por la vía del knockout, de Culiacán, Sinaloa, Mexico, now out of Los Angeles, California, Angel Relámpago Ruiz. And fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black with red, en la esquina rojo, con pantalones negro y rojo, pesando 152.5 libras, weighing in at 152.5 pounds, with a record of 39 wins, 8 losses, 20 wins by knockout, con récord 39 victorias, 8 derrotas, con 20 victorias por knockout. From Brooklyn, New York, the former welterweight champion of the world, ex-campeón de peso welter del mundo, Louis Godsway Collazo.
Everything up here good. I'm saying everything up here good. Fight clean, touch him up. Let's go to work.
One trabajo. Right? Good work.
Set for our main event of the evening, Ruiz and Collazo. Here we go. It's time to fight. Southpaw against southpaw. Black and red trunks for the former world champion. The Mexican colors, green, white, and red for 25-year-old Angel Ruiz.
Ruiz coming out with that youthful energy and quick, snappy punches right off the bat.
Catching Collazo a couple of jabs, partial left hand. Collazo trying to close that gap, trying to use that experience to press subtly.
Now, Angel, he's big for this weight class. He's tall, he's long.
Felt that one.
Heavy shots. He has his opponent in the corner early.
Hey, Collazo's still hurt.
Oh, he's hurt. Looking to finish it right here, right now. Ruiz turning it on.
Collazo should consider holding on here. He's got to be careful taking some clean shots.
Yeah, he's taking some big shots and a body shot there,
Again, that youth energy.
A lot of sometimes when your legs are hurt, you'll lean against the ropes because you don't have to use your balance. I think we're seeing that from Collazo now. I don't know if his legs are back yet.
Looking for that big left hand to finish it quickly.
Ángel Ruiz, he can't miss at this point. Everything he's thrown has been landing.
And there's no counters even coming back from Collazo. Now he's got to give Ruiz something to think about here.
Yeah, but look at the legs. His legs are not there. They're not underneath him. He's not punching back because his balance is off.
Collazo double jab, at least to get off the ropes for a moment.
No head movement either. He's sitting on the ropes, just trying to block. Ruiz is too big for that.
And even there, you saw Collazo got inside, but you see, his body got inside before his hands could, so he ended up smothering himself.
Fast start for a man known as a very tough pressure fighter in 25-year-old Ángel Ruiz.
Yeah, and honestly, Ruiz is fighting. I've called a couple of his fights before. He's fighting much more reserved than normal. He's boxing well. He's being very explosive.
You know, he's got an ex-world champion in front of him. I think, you know, he's
stepped up,
giving a little bit of respect there.
He's usually a lot more reckless. He's actually fighting very composed.
Collazo landing a couple of jabs now.
30 seconds. Collazo has his legs back under him now, and he's putting together combinations.
He's starting to attack the body there, but Ruiz, again, explosive with his return.
Looking for that big left hand pawn with the jab from the southpaw stance.
Collazo's finding his way toward the end of the round now. Got his leg underneath him once again.
My question to both you guys is, did Ruiz let Collazo off the hook after he had him hurt?
He may have. We'll see if it ends up costing him. I still think he won the round, but Collazo started not only getting a confidence back at the end of the round, but also walking Ruiz down and landing some good shots, especially to the body.
Yeah, in the second half of Collazo's career, he's been a pressure fighter. He puts a lot of physical pressure on guys. He's got heavy hands. He set down his punches a lot more than he did early in his career, and I think we saw that toward the end of the round.
Got rocked early.
Yeah, let's see what it was. I thought it was just a jab. Yeah, and it was. Something it was just a jab.
Ruiz was throwing those jabs explosive, though, in that round. He was really putting everything into every punch.
And you're still calling in round one. It's a nice stiff jab by Ruiz. And then he tried to follow it up with a big combination.
Here's the big looping shots that Ruiz was throwing while he had Collazo pinned against the ropes.
Round number 2. Collazo 39-8 as a professional tonight. His 49th professional bout. He has only been finished twice in his 8 setbacks.
Oh, good body shot there by Collazo inside. He's starting to land his own jab. Ruiz is landing some good jabs, and Collazo landing some good jabs. You know, two southpaws mirroring each other here.
And Collazo is looking powerful. Like, his punches look like they're having an effect on Ruiz. He's getting respect.
2.5 weeks notice for Louis Collazo for this main event, but he said, I've been fighting on short notice for the last couple of decades, so no big deal here. As it looks as if he recovered from the dangerous situation Ruiz put him in round number 1.
And Collazo telling the referee, watch that elbow. Oh, Ruiz, good. Again, good shots there on the inside from Collazo.
First fight with Eric Brown for Ángel Ruiz.
Another little elbow push off there from Ruiz. Oh, good uppercut there from Ruiz.
Good timing shot there on the part of Ruiz.
Good body work there from Collazo. You know, we had mentioned that in the keys to victory, go to the body, go there early, go there often, and Collazo's finding it.
Oh, we're gonna watch that clash of heads too.
Ruiz just recently making the move up to super welterweight, 154.
Oh, good uppercut there by Collazo as well.
Oh, good body shot.
You see some of the some little flashes of the championship Collazo in there.
Won the title back in 2005, split decision win over Jose Antonio Rivera. Defended it against Gonzalez. Had it taken away by Ricky Hatton.
Oof, these guys are going to war. Oh!
And now the Mexican Ruiz coming out. He's batting his chest.
Now we got Puerto Rico and Mexico here at the ProBox TV World Headquarters.
And if it's going to be that, I mean, Ruiz just has to use that youth energy. He can't let the savvy veteran Collazo out-hustle him like that. You're the younger guy. It's one thing if you let him be craftier than you, but if it's another thing if you don't let him out-hustle you like this.
Great job by Louis Collazo changing the pace up there.
Yeah, I mean, he's going from stalking mode to trading but he's always sticking back to the body like that, paying those dividends early.
Final 10 seconds of round 2.
Oh, good body shot from Ruiz. And a shot upstairs from Collazo.
Tell you, Ruiz a good chin, though.
We got ourselves a fight!
We got a war on our hands right now. Wow.
Listen, and Ruiz can't give that respect. I know he's fighting the next champion in Collazo. Collazo doesn't want to touch gloves. He's got that veteran game face. Ruiz has to get the same type of veteran, same type of kind of game face in him for all 3 minutes of each round.
Spit this out. You all right? All right, listen to me. I need you to stick on that double jab. You're getting away from the game plan. Get back on the game plan. Use your double jab and the straight left hand. Quit looping it. You're throwing it too big.
Collazo got his feet underneath him that round. First round was shaky, but the second round we saw some of the flashes of the Collazo of old. Throwing some brilliant combinations, and really his punch selection was really nice. Beautiful body shot there. That's the one thing that's been consistent throughout. He's able to find the home for those hooks to the body.
And Eric Brown, I thought giving him good instructions to Ruiz, get back on the plane, which is the jab. I thought Ruiz's jab was really good in round 1. He even hurt Collazo with it. And with that jab, you'll be able to set up your shots from the outside. But again, Ruiz goes right back chest to chest instead.
Yeah, I think Ruiz has had the most success when he threw his punches straight. It's those looping shots that Collazo's able to see and take quite well. It's the straight shots that hurt him.
And he's not really using that jab. He's pawing with the lead hand, and it's allowing Collazo to get inside. And when they get inside, it's a different kind of fight. And, of course, Ruiz cannot use the instructions that Brown has given him in the corner at that range.
First time at 154 pounds for Louis Collazo since February 2nd of 2005 against Richard Heath over 18 years ago. And oh, by the way, he went to 147 in the very next fight and won a world championship. Defended it against Gonzalez, lost it in Boston to Ricky Hatton.
I'll be honest with you. He's been 147 pounds since he was 16 years old.
Yeah. Well, you said earlier, Paulie, you were much lighter and you caught up.
Yeah.
It's those Sunday night pasta dinners for him, Chris.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, you said you ate your way up in the weight class to meet up with Louis.
And I don't know, Ruiz is not the kind of guy that's going to box well on the back foot. He doesn't strike me as that kind of guy. So he's allowing himself to be put on the back foot by Collazo. Now he's getting out-hustled again. Again, you can't let the older veteran out-hustle you like this.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think because Ruiz is loading up on everything and Collazo's just letting his hands go and letting him run.
You see when he used that jab.
And when he uses the straight punches, he's definitely at an advantage. Oof. But Collazo, like you said, he's out hustling him.
Which, guys, takes me back again to the question I asked you in round 1. He had him hurt, he had him on the ropes, and he did not, call it discipline, call it whatever you want, but he did not go heavy for the finish, and now Collazo's in this fight, to say the least.
Yeah, it felt like it was a little bit of too much respect for the former champ.
Oh, good shot there by Ruiz. That might have got Collazo's attention. I heard him. He backed him up there.
No.
Oh, and another left hand. I said earlier he's looking for that big left. He gets it, scores the knockdown.
Very rare to see Collazo get dropped.
He's got to be careful. Ruiz has got a neutral corner.
Still 40 seconds on the clock here in round 3.
Ooh, another big left hand over the top.
Yeah, Collazo might still be buzzed here. Got a big shot again. Ruiz hit a big shot again. The rope saved him there. Ruiz should get in the neutral corner, though. He's in his own corner.
Yeah, what are you doing? Ref should be telling him. Yeah, right there. There you go.
Well, the ropes helped Luis Collazo stay up. It was the referee's decision. to decide that.
Oh, good uppercut.
Good uppercut there by Ruiz again as Collazo tried to smother. Smart punch there by Ruiz.
He may have potentially let him off the hook.
That was an early bell, guys. It was 15 seconds
In
left in that
round
round.
one, yeah, but not so in round three. As he came on with heavy hands again, the corner of Collazo.
What's the... Are you okay? I'm good. You gotta move. You gotta get back to the jab. You gotta start moving, man. Don't get, I told you, don't engage with this guy.
Here we see the overhand right behind the ear, and then a big one right on the chin. Had Collazo in trouble, and then it was another right hand there. Scraped right across the chin and put Collazo on his back. Very rare to see Collazo off his feet in a boxing ring.
Yeah, that was a sharp 1-2. That started the damage right there, the 1-2, and then another left cross there.
Yeah, it's like I said last round, it's the straight punches that have been most effective for Ruiz.
And that's what Brown was asking for in the corner. I mean, Ruiz got away from that, but when he's gone back to at the proper range, he's had the most success there in this fight.
Yeah, this is where the referee made that call about the ropes holding Collazo up. Otherwise, it would have been on another. That's why he called it a knockdown or not. Didn't stop it.
So a 10-8 for Angel Ruiz in round three. And the timing on that round shortened a little bit, which may be the only reason that Collazo is here standing in round four. But time will tell. He recovered from a tough round number one.
Good body shot there from Ruiz. That was a good shot. Well placed.
And this is where you start to wonder about the older legs of Collazo. You know, can he recover from being hurt? You know, Champ, you said something, you know, it's rare that he goes down. Well, he went down last round. You know, could that be something with his legs? Usually he's had the better punch resistance in his career. And let's see now if he's able to recover his legs this round.
And Ruiz is 5'10", Chris, but man, he's got a big frame. He looks bigger than 5'10".
He's got wide shoulders and big hands. I noticed that in the fighter meeting when I called his fights in the past.
And he's got the former champ in trouble again.
Collazo talking to ref mid-combination saying, yo, watch the elbow.
Yeah, we had said that Ruiz is he's a rough, young, strong guy, and we're seeing that style from him. Very, very physical.
His best punch, at least he told us, is his left hook. I think that straight left is pretty nasty, too.
Listen, I think his jab is pretty good. I've never seen the jab from him before. It's been one of the most effective punches.
Well done.
It's been able to rock Louis back almost every time he lands it.
Over the top with the hook, looking for it again. On the jab, there's the left hook.
And the jab is probably something they worked on in the gym, right? He'd say this is his first fight with Eric Brown, and Brown has been the one asking for it in the corner. And Champ made a good point. Anytime he's used it, it's been very, very effective in this fight. It's Collazo not really moving his head. And the reflexes of an older guy are slower.
Now, there's going to be opportunities here for Collazo to land the big shot, because Ruiz is showing no respect in this round and is feeling very, very confident walking right in. So there will be opportunities for Collazo to pull this one out of the fire.
Collazo is as tough as they come. If you have any argument that goes the other way, go back to the fight against Victor Ortiz in January of 2014, and many others in his illustrious career.
Yeah, arguably deserved the decisions against Ricky Hatton and Andre Berto as well.
Yep.
Really nice jab work from Ruiz to close out this fourth round.
Ruiz making life easier for himself when he uses that jab.
You're fucking trying too hard to knock him the fuck out. You gotta listen. You gotta listen. You hear me? All right, don't fuck this up now. You work behind your double jab, up and down, stab him together. You hit him with a double jab up here.
Coaching sound familiar, Paulie?
You understand me? All right? I need combinations on top. All right? Combinations on top. And dig him out when you down here. Quit waiting on him.
Yes, sir.
Quit trying to knock him out.
Okay.
Don't try to knock him out. Don't talk shit to him. Whoop his ass. Do you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Don't talk. Whoop his ass.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Y no lo detenga con la mano. Esa mano puede ser jab. No lo detenga así.
Yeah, speed, son. Speed, baby. Speed. Let's go.
See in the
Good
corner
job.
as well, in the Spanish portion of the instructions from the other cornerman, he was saying don't hold him with that lead hand because he was getting warnings from the referee. He said use that lead hand as a jab. Don't hold it out there. Hold him out there with that lead hand.
The fight continues. Our main event of the evening, black and red trunks for 41-year-old Luis Collazo. Green, white, and red Mexican colors for Angel Ruiz. We are in round number 5.
And speaking of that jab, don't pull that thing out when it's such a good weapon. Ruiz has been utilizing that thing beautifully since round 1.
Nice combination by the former world champion. Paulie, you can't tell that Eric Brown's from Detroit at all when you listen to his instructions, can you?
Nah, good, you think? Don't let the LA address fool you. Eric's Detroit through and through.
You got that right. The Motor City, baby. Louis not going to go away easy.
Now, there's no quit in that man, and he's always going to try and find a way to win. Oh, good body shot
by Ruiz.
That buckled Collazo.
And you didn't expect it because Ruiz hadn't really gone to the body like that. That was a good body shot by Ruiz, a surprise body shot by Ruiz, and Collazo's still trying to recover as he takes an uppercut.
Man, Collazo has some beard. He's taking some big, clean shots, and by punches he doesn't see either.
At a couple days shy of 42. Pretty darn impressive.
I've been impressed with Angel. I mean, I've seen this is incredible improvement from his last couple fights.
And he's taking this fight, guys, on a week's notice.
Yeah, I mean, that speaks to volumes to what his training lifestyle is like.
He's setting up good shots off that jab, using that jab to control range and then setting up good shots. But when Collazo gets in, he's still lively with those combination punches.
When Ruiz makes that mistake, he covers up and allows Louis to walk right in.
And then you know, he doesn't fire back in there. He's earmuffs high, but it gets the Collazo confidence going with these kind of combinations, and also allows Collazo to try to steal back the round. See, as soon as Ruiz establishes a little bit of range, Collazo used to use the old legs, and the old legs have trouble closing the gap. But when Collazo can stand still, like right here in these pockets, he can get those hands moving well and throw some nice combinations like that.
Combination. Big left hand lands for Luis Collazo. 30 seconds on the clock, round 5. Our main event here on ProBox TV.
Coach Eric Brandt on some great advice in the corner. You're trying to knock him out, holding up in every shot. Those aren't the shots that are going to get him. You know, plus some explicatives, but it was actually very good coaching.
Yeah, and if you look at it, what did he hurt him the most with besides the knockdowns was just that straight jab, right?
Jabs and straight left hand.
Basics.
Yep.
Good round for Luis Collazo.
You see, there's a difference right there. When you establish that range and you force Collazo to have to close the gap, you can use your jab, you can use your selection of punches because Collazo has trouble closing the gap. He's got old legs. When you let Collazo park the bus in front of you and
working inside,
he's got more success.
Okay, come back with the hook.
Willie Vargas in the corner, Collazo. They've been together since he was 10 years old.
In front of him so he can hit you.
Good advice from Willie Vargas. That's one thing Collazo has not done much of this fight, is actually move his head. It's really just been a high guard defense.
But champ, even when you're moving your head, you need legs.
Yeah.
You got to shift your weight from one side to the other when you're moving your legs.
Push him. Let me see something. I don't want you getting hurt in there, okay? Let's go.
Battle of good corners. Good advice from both sides, the blue and the red. Or as we like to call it here at ProBox, the purple corners. Because we don't have A sides.
And you always like to hear things like, I don't want to see you get hurt in there.
Yeah, the awareness
Keeping an eye on you, the awareness of a coach, especially a coach who's been with him a long time.
Yeah.
Halfway through, what's your scorecard look like, Chris?
Oh, the body shot. Gonna look different after this.
Yeah. This might be it. is all over. Angel Ruiz has stopped Louis Collazo.
So the prize body shot a couple of rounds ago, it surprised Collazo because Ruiz hadn't gone to the body, and again, another surprise body shot. Ruiz getting respect. Big win for Ruiz.
Massive, massive statement made.
35 seconds into round number 6.
You see, when you don't talk, you get to work. Eric said, don't talk. You whoop his A. Yep. And Ruiz got to work.
Yeah, I mean, the fight changed once Ruiz stopped respecting Collazo.
Yeah.
He went to touch gloves that one round. Louis was like, I don't want to, didn't, just walked away, saw him, shook his head. Ruiz learned a lesson there and then brought it to the next round, and the respect went out the window from there, and that's when Ruiz really started to run away with it.
So let's see how he surprised him with his body shot here.
The shot was. Oh, it was a short, beautiful little right hand.
Yeah, right on the solar plexus.
And Ruiz even celebrated. He knew that one hurt him badly.
Oh, Goldie, when you land a good body shot, you can feel it.
Yeah.
Ooh, you can feel it on the glove.
Right on the solar plexus.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Louis is like, yeah.
It's actually kind of on the liver too, right?
Yeah, that's more on that. That's the right side liver.
Man, nice placement. Nice placement on that body shot. And he hurt him with it a couple of rounds too, the same shot.
That was actually the last round. Yeah, the round early in the beginning, in the 5th round.
First fight under the tutelage of Eric Brown, and a good one indeed. Ruiz celebrates stopping the former world champion in our main event of the evening. The official decision from Mark Lichtenfeld.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Chris Young reaches the count of 10 at 32 seconds of the 6th round. Your winner by knockout, el ganador por la knockout, Angel Relámpago Ruiz.
Officially, they're saying 32 seconds, mutual respect. The former world champion and the young 25-year-old scoring the biggest win of his career.
Good respect there.
Our own Claudia Trejos is going to visit with both fighters.
And here we are with the legend. Estamos aquí con la leyenda, Luis Collazo. Luis, it's been a while. What a war it was for as long as it lasted. How did you feel in there?
He caught me with a great body shot. I was throwing a shot, and he was coming in with his. But like I told him, stay focused and keep going forward.
Le pregunté cómo se sintió, obviamente un veterano de muchas batallas, dice que me conectó muy bien, es un gran boxeador, que se quede enfocado. Después de tantos años, has dicho que el llamado de Dios es para que te quedes aquí en el ring. ¿Cómo está el llamado de Dios ahora? You know, you've been telling after all these years that it's a calling of God for you to be here in the ring. How is your calling now?
Well, you know, my calling for God is gonna stay, but for boxing, I'm done. This is you know, I prayed about it. He put it in my heart, in my spirit to keep going forward. But again, this is the end for me now. I'm content with the decision. You know, Ruiz did what he had to do. He came out with the victory, and that's it. Now move forward and see what God got planned for me.
El llamado de Dios sigue fuerte. Yo le pedí el favor de que me lo quitara, pero estoy aquí. Pero esta es mi última pelea. Yo sé que tengo la oportunidad de seguir en otras cosas, pero no en el boxeo. Él es un gran boxeador, me conectó bien y obviamente ya es otro capítulo. All in all, is this how you saw yourself walking away from the ring? ¿Así era como te veías yéndote del ring?
Well, no, but that's the thing with the sport. Anything can happen at any given time. But I give him nothing but credit, him and his team, and I wish him nothing but the best. But that's it. Now it's time to hang up, spend time with the family, and
train some kids.
And the grandchildren.
That's it, the grandchildren.
Dice que no, que no se veía yéndose del deporte así, pero obviamente se enfrentó con un gran boxeador y él va a seguir buscando otro capítulo con sus nietos. I take this opportunity to thank you for all the years and all the sacrifices and the great wars you gave us. Mil y mil gracias por todos los años de sacrificio y las grandes batallas que nos diste.
Thank you. I want to thank all the fans that came out to support me. If it wasn't for them, I would have never lasted the 23 years. But I'm just grateful for all the support I've been through, that I had throughout the years. But again, take my hat off to Ruiz and his team. They did a great job. He just needs to stay focused, and whatever happened in the past, and keep looking for brighter and bigger things.
Bueno, él obviamente le agradece a todo el apoyo del público, por la razón por la que ha estado aquí por 23 años. Le da todo el respeto a Ángel Ruiz por una gran pelea, que lo que ya pasó en el pasado, ya quedó en el pasado, que obviamente se enfoca en el futuro, tiene un gran futuro. Mil y mil gracias nuevamente. You're next.
Thank you to everybody. Thanks to the champ. He's a warrior, and I wish you all the best, bro. Thanks for the opportunity. I feel like, man, amazing. There's no words, bro. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm going to take this opportunity to speak to the winner, which of course just faced a very, very tough veteran. If I can just turn you around here. We're going to do this in English and Spanish, because I know you can pull this off with me too, right? Lo vamos a hacer en inglés y en español porque yo sé que tú puedes.
Spanish is English.
Las dos.
Vamos a hacerlo para mi gente mexicana.
Exactamente. Hablemos un poco de lo difícil que fue ese primer asalto, el segundo, encontrar tu ritmo. Let's talk about how difficult it was for your first and your second round to get into your rhythm.
Yeah, la verdad, bueno, primero que nada agradecerle a Collazo por la oportunidad y agradecerle a la empresa de ProBox por otra gran oportunidad. Bueno, pues desde nada sabemos que Collazo viene de muchas guerras, viene de ser ex campeón del mundo, y sabíamos que era una pelea fuerte. Él es una persona que está un poco grande, pero nunca hay que quitarle méritos a esas personas. Esas personas, ya sabemos, hay muchos grandes peleadores que fueron campeones del mundo cuando estaban grandes. Uno de ellos es una inspiración como Bernard Hopkins, fue un campeón del mundo a sus 40 y tantos años. Entonces hay que respetar a todos los peleadores, todo el que se estuvo arriba del ring, deberíamos de darle su respeto y pues apoyo también, desde luego. Pero estoy muy agradecido con mi equipo por todo lo que me ha enseñado, por todos los pasos que me han llevado. Esta es una gran oportunidad para mí y espero y haga más oportunidades.
Now you're going to say that in English.
Well, I want to thank everybody. First of all, I want to thank Collazo. Everybody, it was in disappointment with Collazo because he's 40 years old. But you know what? Everybody know, like all the warriors more than 40 years, like Bernard Hopkins. How do you say example? Yeah, he being world champion when he was 40. I mean, you can't disappoint warriors like him. You know, like they're fighters. They fighters. So you can take any mistake with these fighters.
Absolutely, you gave us a great fight. Thank you very much. Congratulations on that win. Congratulations to your corner. Now I go back to you at the table, guys.
I want to thank my team for always supporting me. My manager, Jared from Australia. Thank you. Thanks to my family. Thanks to all the fans.
Thank you. Back to you guys.
And thank you for a great performance by Angel Ruiz. And man, he came out very hot and very dangerously close to finishing Louis Collazo in round number 1.
Yeah, we thought, you know, he might have shown too much respect in round number 1. He might have been able to get Louis out of there, but Louis being Louis comes back. Collazo, you know, came back with a force, was digging to the body, letting his punches go with fury and intensity. We were looking like the Collazo of old in some of those flashes, but then the youth and the spirit and the straight punches of Ruiz were the difference. It was the straight ones more than the loopy shots that were hurting Collazo. Dropped him twice in that third round. And then round 4, this is when the respect went out the window for Ruiz and really just started to really pour on the pressure to try and get Collazo out of there. But Collazo, not to be undone until that body shot. He was taking the punches well to the head later in those rounds, but then that body shot was unexpected, caught him perfectly on the liver, and he took a full 10 count there in that last round, the 6th round.
And you know, Champ, you mentioned how the straight punches were more successful than the loopy punches. You know, the fastest route from point A to point B is a straight line. And when you're older, your reflexes are a little slower. So those faster shots, those sharper shots, are the ones that may hit you. Maybe they would have hit you before. And Collazo's reflexes really weren't reacting well to the straighter, sharper shots of Ruiz when he threw them that way.
23 years as a professional, decorated champion, fought some of the best in the game. We had the honor of the last fight of Luis Collazo's career to be here on ProBox TV. And I would say, without a doubt, you two were the right men to call it. Put it all in perspective for us, Paulie, because you've known him for decades.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Luis was, for me, always a guy that didn't get the respect he deserved. You know, he had contract issues when he turned pro with Don King, and then, you know, always had to flip the B side a lot of ways. Got the short end of some decisions that he probably deserved. I can remember winning the Golden Gloves in the novice division with him in 1998. You know, we won it together. I won him at 125 pounds. He won him at 147 pounds. And from there, you know, we had success throughout our senior amateur careers. You know, I won the U.S. championships. He made the Olympic trials. We turned pro around the same time. He, you know, we had our big fights, our first big fight around the same time. He fought Hatton in May 2006. I fought Cotto a month later. Those were our first big fights. Those were our entrance into the big time right after he'd won the world title. It's been a great ride with Luis, and I'll go out and say this: he was the best fighter of my generation, but he didn't get the credit he deserved. Out of New York, there was several prospects people were looking at when my generation. I was one of them. There were several others. Luis was a quiet one. He went under the radar a lot. Luis was the best, most savviest guy out of all of us, and he never got that respect.
And you agree with everything he said, right, Chris?
And to piggyback off of what Paulie said about Luis, it's no secret to any of the fighters. In New York, everyone looked up to Collazo. Everybody looked up to Luis. We still do, and we got 3 New Yorkers, 3 guys who started in New York. We're all now living in Florida, just like Luis, and we got to see who's witnessed his last fight. I mean, here's to an absolutely tremendous career, one of the best to ever do it, especially from New York. So much respect and honor.
And I got to make another comment about the Florida thing. They call Florida the 6th borough. You know, they call it the 6th borough for a reason. You know?
Yes, indeed. And I'll tell you what, Luis Collazo, thank you for giving us the honor of your last career fight being right here on your boxing channel, ProBox TV. And, of course, congratulations to Angel Ruiz, who stopped him in round number 6. And don't forget, every other Wednesday we come to you. Now, Cinco de Mayo fast approaches, and one of boxing's pound-for-pound kings, Canelo Alvarez, takes center stage to fight John Ryder from Guadalajara, Mexico, Saturday, May 6th. Well, on the 3rd from that same great city, another night of good fighters and great fights, brought to you by our partners at Canelo Promotions. No boxing, no life. Clase Y Talento. Join us for all the action right here on ProBox TV, May 3rd, as we come to you from Mexico. 23 years as a professional, 21-year-old Jose Salas hands Prince Johnny the first loss of his professional career. This kid is one we want to see again. Vadim Musayev is on a roll. 3rd round finish, 1st round finish, another 1st round stoppage here tonight. And then our main event, the former world champion left it all as he always did, but stopped with a vicious body shot. And the end of a career has happened here. For my partners, Paulie Malignaggi, Chris Algieri, Mike Goldberg saying so long until we see you next time right here on ProBox TV.